So John, you're one of the big names in Americana, one of the big leading experts and researchers in the field. You've done quite a bit of cataloging over the course of your career. A lot of coin collectors are interested in medallic art and Americana, but it seems daunting for them because the literature for it and the variety of pieces is far more diverse than traditional coin collecting.
Yes.
What would you say 3 big things a collector should know before they get into the field?
3 things. Well, let's see. First, I guess I would say don't be afraid to specialize and don't be afraid to not specialize. Probably the most successful collectors in tokens and metals and other oddball Americana things pick a field they love and get expert at it. They get expert by buying things, by looking at the auctions, by seeing the institutional collections, and they start to figure out where the gaps are in the published information and in the paper trail. So whether it be Washingtoniana or U.S. Mint metals or counter stamps, pick a spot. Don't be afraid to dance around a little bit, but pick a spot and really specialize. The second piece of advice I'd give is while standard references are vital, there's going to be much more information and much more up-to-date information in auction catalogs than there's going to be in standard references. While you need the Julian book on U.S. Mint metals or the Brunk book on counter stamps, you also need the most recent large auction presentations to learn more about rarity, pricing, availability, things like that, which are a lot of things that older standard references can't give you. And I guess my third piece of advice would be to build a relationship with other collectors and dealers because, especially in Americana, a lot of the information has never been published, has never been written, and is still living up here in somebody's head. So there are a number of good specialty clubs for that, like the Metal Collectors of America for metals in particular, and there's a number of very good specialty dealers and knowledgeable collectors who are more than willing to share.
Well, one of the hurdles I think maybe some people might feel is, are these things actually worth money? How do you,
I hope so.
How do you assuage that fear, though, for somebody getting into it? Where, you know, when you think about like it's easy to tabulate a value of a $1 million peace dollar. A little harder with a hard times token or maybe a metal from the 19th century for some obscure event.
It is. I think it's important to remember in a long view that tokens and metals have been collected much longer than many of the coins that are popular today. In the 1860s, the auction rooms were full of people trying to buy political metals and mint metals and Indian peace metals, and they didn't really care too much about other things. Remember, this is when proof gold was selling for face value in a lot of auctions. So it's important to remember that there is a very long tradition of collecting this kind of material and valuing it very highly. In terms of actually valuing things today, because published price records don't exist on a lot of these things, it's really important to depend upon auctions and to understand that different quality levels, just like grade matters in coins, quality levels matter in tokens and metals too. But auctions are where you're going to get probably your most important pricing information, but also in the cases of the dealers who specialize in this sort of thing and know what the market will bear. Sometimes it's important to take a leap of faith and actually acquire things with the understanding that the specialized dealers in this material are always happy to make a two-way market in things. If you're buying from someone who doesn't actually buy as well as sell tokens and metals, you're probably in the wrong place. But good tokens and metals, things that I've sold years ago, I'm always happy to buy back at a fair price because there are a number of other collectors who'd like to own them as well.
And one of the great things about this field of numismatics is there really is like no floor to the price point. I mean, you can really get in at any budget.
I mean, if you show up at a coin show with $10 in your pocket, you can leave with some kind of cool piece of exonumia, almost no matter what the size of the show. For big A&A shows, it tends to be a little bit more expensive items sometimes for a guy like me that has to travel 3,000 miles and only has so much room in his briefcase. But even at my table, you know, $100 gets you something really cool with a great story and a real strong base level of rarity there too.
Great. Well, I appreciate the insights, John. Good luck.
Always nice talking to you.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks, man.